Okay, so in this video, we're going to have a look at some 2024 HSC Maths Advanced questions. This is the first 5 from the multiple choice. So for question 1, we are told to consider the following function, or consider the function shown. Which of the following could be the equation? Well, we can see the slope is negative because it goes down to the right, so m must be less than 0. We can see the y-intercept is positive because it passes through above the origin. So the b value must be greater than 0. So we're looking for a negative in front of the x and a positive at the end. The only one that satisfies those is C. C is the answer to question 1. Question 2. We're told group of 60 students, 38 play basketball, 35 play hockey, 5 don't play either. How many play both? All right, good way to do this, Venn diagram. Just draw a little Venn diagram, add some numbers into it. So circle here, circle here. We'll call this basket. We'll call this hock. So we know 5 don't play either, and we know the population is 60. That means there's 60 students in total. We'll call this A, we'll call this bit B, we'll call this bit C. We know that, and I'm going to do this in quite a formal way. We know that A plus B, the total that do basketball, is 38. And we know that B plus C, the total that do hockey, is 35. So we're going to rearrange both of these for B. Minus A from both sides in the first. This tells us B is 38 minus A. Minus C from both sides in the second. This gives us B is 35 minus C. Set these equal to one another. We get 38 minus A is equal to 35 minus C. Minus 35 from both sides. Add A to both sides, and I get 3 is equal to A minus C. Now, immediately, this doesn't seem all that useful, but it tells us that the number of people, the difference between the number who only do basketball and only do hockey is 3. That's actually quite useful because we now know the number that do hockey in terms of the number that do basketball, and vice versa. So we can rearrange this a little bit. We can add C to both sides. This tells us that A is actually equal to 3 plus C. Now we were told 38 play basketball, and that's A plus B. We were told 35 play hockey. That's B plus C. So now we want to think about the fact that the number in hockey is differing by the number in basketball by 3. Because we know what the totals are going to be. Right? This is useful information to us. We also have equations in both A and C which are rearrangeable for B if we wanted to use them. So the total in basketball was 38. 38 over here for A and B, the number in hockey was 35. We now know that the number difference between A and C is 3. So we've got A plus B plus C is equal to 55. This is the total population minus the people that don't play any sports. We now have A in terms of C. So this becomes 3 plus C. We have B in terms of C. This is 35 minus C. And then we have C in terms of C. So now we have an equation only containing C. 3 plus 35 is 38. We have minus C plus C cancel. So we have 38 plus C is 55 minus 38 from both sides. This tells us that C is 17. Now, A is 3 plus C. So this is 17. This is 20. 17 plus 20 is 37. The total number is 55. 55 minus 37. Well, this is going to be 18. And this is the number of people that do both. And this is answer B. Now, there are other shorter ways you can do this kind of question. I've done this in quite a formal way. The benefit of doing this quite formally, structuring it out as an algebra equation and solving it, is if the question got much more complicated, this method would still work. If you use an easier, more informal way, once the questions become more complicated with other components, they may not work. But this did work, and there were other quicker ways you could have done as well. All right, question 3. We are told Pia's marks in Year 10 assessments are shown. The scores for each subject were normally distributed. In which subject did she perform best in comparison with the rest of Year 10? So we need to find her z-score. So we're going to find z-scores for each of them, and then whichever one is highest, that's the best one comparatively. So for English, her z-score is going to be her mark, 78, minus the Year 10 mean, 66, divided by the standard deviation, 6. This is 12 divided by 6, so this is 2. For maths, it's going to be her mark, 80, minus the mean, which is 71, divided by standard deviation, which is 10. So this is 9 on 10. This is about 0.9. It's exactly 0.9. For science, her mark is 77, minus the mean, which is 70, over standard deviation, which is 15. This is 7 on 15. This is sort of close to 0.4. And then history, her mark was 85. The mean was 72. Divide this by 9. 85 minus 72 is 13. 13 divided by 9. This is somewhere in the ballpark of 1.5. So we've got 2.9, 0.4 and a bit, 1.5 and a bit, around 1.5. Definitely English. So A, English. This was her best comparative performance. Now, question 4. We're given a parabola. We're told it's reflected about the y-axis, then reflected about the x-axis. So we might just choose to draw this. It's not particularly difficult to draw basic parabolas. So if we had x squared and then we shifted it down by 2, it would be down here. So this would be x squared minus 2. And then if we replace x with x minus 3, that'll shift it to the right by 3 units. So this parabola is sort of over here, goes down to minus 3, goes down to minus 2, and it goes to the right by 3. Reflected about the y-axis. Okay, so about the y-axis would move it over here. So this is the reflection about the y-axis. This will have its vertex at the point minus 3, minus 2. Then reflected about the x-axis, well, this will flip it upside down. So its vertex will move here, and it will point down this way. So this parabola is a negative parabola. So the number in front of the squared should be a negative, so it's either C or D. It's shifted up by 2. C and D are both shifted up by 2. It's shifted to the left by 3. So it has to be an x plus 3 in the brackets. So the answer must be C. So therefore, C is the answer. You can do these just algebraically. You can just apply the transformations algebraically. If it's a pretty easy function, just draw the function. You should know how. It doesn't take much time. You actually see what the thing is that's being transformed, and you're less likely to mess up if you've got a graph. So graphs are really useful. All right, last question for this video, question 5. We have integral bracket 6x plus 1 cubed dx. So for this one, this is a known integral rule, so the whole power of the linear term is going to increase. So we will end up with bracket 6x plus 1 to the 4. Now this has to be multiplied by 1 on 4, because if you differentiated this, the 4 would come down the front. Now, if you differentiated 6x plus 1 to the 4, a 6 would also come out of the front because of the chain rule. So you need to multiply it by 1 on 4 and also multiply it by 1 on 6 and add a constant of integration. So we get 1 on 24 times bracket 6x plus 1 to the 4, all plus c. And from the 5 options we have, this is A. So A is the answer to question 5. So this is some select working to the first 5 questions from the 2024 Advanced Maths paper.